In today's tutorial for the T53W phone, we're going to show you what all the buttons on your phone do, how to do basic call functions such as transferring, conferencing, and parking calls, and we're also going to show you how to set up your phone and what it looks like when it's actually registering for service. So we'll start by showing you how to set up your device for the first time. When you first receive your phone and take it out of the box, you're going to notice that there's a desk phone stand. That's going to slide right into the back of the phone. After you've connected that, you'll want to plug in the handset cable into the handset port on the back of your phone. Be careful that you're plugging it into the handset port that has a little phone icon, not the headset port that has a little headphone icon. So after you've plugged that into the handset port, you can then connect your Ethernet cable to the internet port on the back of the phone. If you are using the phone as a switch, you can use a separate Ethernet cable that goes from your PC port to your computer. But in most instances, you'll just take the Ethernet cord that comes with the phone and plug it into the internet port on the back of your phone. If you are connecting to Wi-Fi, you can skip this step, though we do typically recommend an Ethernet connection just for the most stability. After you've connected that Ethernet cord, you can then plug in the power into the DC5V port. If you have power over Ethernet available, you can skip this step as well. After this is completed, your device will begin to register for service. So it's going to look like this. You're going to see it come on. It's going to start searching for Wi-Fi if available. And now it's going to connect for service, obtain the IP address, and you'll know it's finished when it shows the 911 address pop up. From there, you'll just press OK, and your phone screen will come up. You should see the date, time, your name, and your extension on the left-hand side of your phone. So now we'll begin by going over what all these buttons on your phone do. So to start with, we have our number pad. So this is obviously for entering phone numbers, but it's also for entering characters. So if you're creating a speed dial, saving a contact, entering a Wi-Fi password, anything like that, you'll want to use this number pad to do so. Directional arrows here on the left are for navigation. So if you're in the menu or the call history or the features, anywhere where you need to get around, you're going to want to use these arrow keys to do so, not the keys on the left and right hand side of your phone. Center OK button is like your enter key, and this little X button is your back or exit button. You can also press and hold this from the home screen and it'll prompt you to restart your phone. So if you ever need to reboot your phone, you don't have to worry about unplugging and plugging it back in. You can just press and hold that little X button and then press OK when it prompts you to restart. Volume slider here. If the phone is just sitting idle, this will adjust the sound of the ringtone. If you're on an active call, it will adjust the sound of that call. And if you're on speaker, it will adjust the sound of the speaker. And your speakerphone button is this little megaphone over on the bottom right. Microphone with a line through it is your mute key. So if you're on the phone with someone and you don't want them to hear you for whatever reason, you can put that call on mute and they will not hear you until you take them off of mute. This does glow red when it's pressed, and you will also see on the screen that the call is muted. Headset icon here is for headset mode. So these phones do have Bluetooth capability, and they also have a headset port in the back. So if you wanted to connect a headset, you could do so and enter or exit headset mode with that little headset icon. This envelope key here is for setting up your voicemail. So these phones don't come with voicemail already pre-set up. You will need to set up your mailbox. But to do so, all you need to do is press that envelope key, and that will walk you through creating your custom greeting and setting up your password. Once you've done that, you can then press that envelope key at any time to access your mailbox. When you have a voicemail, you'll have a blinking red indicator light on the top of your phone, and you will also see on the screen that the call has been missed and that you have a message waiting. These little arrows kind of overlapping each other. This is your redial or call history key. You also have call history on the bottom left of your phone screen. So from your call history, you can actually select certain items, and if you hit option, you can choose to add that number to your contacts or block the number by adding them to your blacklist. And those contacts will be housed in your directory. So the local directory is any contacts that you have manually added. The remote directory is your company directory that gets pushed out to the phones from the OneTalk portal, and your blacklist is any numbers that you have blocked. D&D is do not disturb, so that will send your calls to voicemail. This does look like this when it's turned on, so you'll know if you've accidentally pressed it or left it on. And then in our menu here is where we have things like our status, which is where you can check the phone's network status or the dongle status if you have a dongle plugged in for a cordless handset. And this is also where you have your settings. So you have basic settings and advanced settings. Basic settings are your things like language, time and date, display, sound, and it's also where you'll find Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Advanced settings is password protected. This is where you would go if you needed to factory reset your phone. Moving back to the home screen here, on the left-hand side of your phone, you'll have your extension listed 3 times on the top left. These are your phone's 3 individual lines. So you can be on 3 active calls at one time, and you can bounce between them with these 3 buttons. So when you're on one call, you'll have a green indicator light showing that that call is active. And then if another call were to come in, you would see it flash across your second line with options across the bottom to accept, silence, or reject that call. Features button here, this is where you'll find call forwarding. So if you wanted to set your phone to forward somewhere else, you could go into features, call forward, and enable the always call forward. Features is also where you'll find functions such as intercom and paging. So intercom is your one-to-one where you can set where if you press your intercom button, it goes to a specific person's phone. Features, that's where you would find that intercom setup. On the right-hand side of your phone, you have these empty spaces and this 1, 2, 3 button. This 1, 2, 3 button will bring up additional pages of these empty spaces. These are yours to kind of do with whatever you'd like. So if you press and hold one of those soft keys, you can switch the line type to say a speed dial, and you could have multiple pages of speed dials. Now when you're actually on a call, it's going to look a bit like this. So here you can see that there's a little green light showing that the call is active, and the buttons across the bottom have changed. So you now have options for hold, transfer, end call, and these 2 dots here are more, which is where you would find conference and park. So if you wanted to transfer a call to someone, you would just press transfer. You would then enter the phone number or extension where you want to send that call. You do have access to your directory here, as well as your speed dials. After you've chosen the phone number that you want to transfer the call to, you'll then choose direct or consult. A direct transfer is going to send it directly to that person, whereas a consultative transfer allows you to announce the call before sending it over. If you're doing a direct transfer, after you've hit direct, you're finished. If you're doing a consultative transfer, there is an additional step. After you hit consult, it's going to call that person, and you'll just need to press transfer again to finish sending that call over. If that person says they can't take the call for whatever reason, you can hit end call and it'll bring you back to that person waiting on hold in the background. One other thing I do want to mention, if you press transfer and then hit one of your speed dials, that is always going to be a direct transfer. If you would like to perform a consultative transfer and announce the call first, you will need to actually manually enter that phone number or extension. Next up is conference calls. Conference calls are pretty straightforward. So for these, all you need to do is when you're on your first call, you'll just open up a second line. That'll automatically put your first call on hold. So you'll open up a second line, enter the phone number or extension that you want to bring in, and then once they answer, you're going to press these 2 dots here for more, and then press conference. That'll merge those 2 calls into one. You can have up to 6 people in one conference call, including yourself. So if you wanted to bring someone else in, you would just do those same steps again. Open up another line, and then more conference. And our last item here is parking. Parking essentially allows you to place a call on hold on someone else's line. So if you wanted to transfer a call to someone but they weren't immediately available, you could park it on their line so it's sitting there waiting for them. And to do that, you just press the more key and then press park. And when you press park, the phone actually tells you exactly what to do. So you'll press park and you'll hear instructions that tell you to enter the phone number or extension where you want to park that call, followed by the pound sign. That person is then going to receive an audible and visual notification that a call is parked on their line so that they can retrieve it. Now, one of the key differences between transferring and parking is that if you transfer a call to someone and they don't answer it, it's going to go to their voicemail. But if you park a call on someone's line and they don't get to it, it's going to roll back to you. So just something you want to be aware of, one of those differences between transferring and parking. Now the default time that a call will sit parked is 45 seconds, but this can be adjusted up to 10 minutes. So if you would like to adjust that call timer, you can do so from within the OneTalk portal, or you can reach out to your Masters Telecom team and ask someone to do that for you.